Hey everyone, thanks for joining today's session. My name is Marco Guerre. I'm the research director at Tool, and I'll be hosting today's webinar. So for today's session, what we're going to be doing is showcasing one of the newest features that we just launched within the app. This is the project's dashboard. I'm going to go through the different components, how we expect users to use it, some of the things that we have planned after this first release. And if there's any questions, we'll definitely open up the floor for any questions. This is a pretty simple, straightforward feature, so I think it'll take about 15, 20 minutes to go through all the different components. If you all have any questions throughout the session, feel free to just drop those in the chat box below, and then in the last 10 minutes, I'm going to talk about we'll answer those questions. If we have time, I'll also showcase some of the other features that we have planned. Definitely look out for our announcements. We have a lot of things that are going to be coming out for the rest of this year, so this is just the beginning of a huge lift that we have planned. If that sounds good, I'm going to go ahead and start the presentation. And like I mentioned, the session will be recorded and we will post it on our training session site on the website. So if you can already tell, I've already started sharing my screen. This is the new projects dashboard. We launched it last Wednesday with a couple of capabilities in mind. This has been a feature that's been in development for about a couple of months, but we've been having at least 2 years of requests in order to update our projects page. We've added a couple of new functionalities, so we're going to be going through those in a moment. So with the new projects dashboard, the first thing you're going to notice is how fast and responsive the page is. This is because we're no longer displaying all the information, all of your projects at once. We've switched to a new development practice that makes this process a lot more expansive and also have segmented some of the information so you don't see it until you actually pull up project details. Previously, we had a lot of these details show up, but now this is helping us load a lot more information, and also we combine some other capabilities that you would have seen elsewhere into the tool, into the project dashboard, like admin settings and learning resources. Right now, the project's dashboard is broken up into 3 different panels. On the leftmost panel is the navigation, where you can toggle through the different pages and see what tools, resources, metrics you have available about your team. Whenever you're active in a certain page, you'll see a middle section which contains information like in the projects page, you have your projects list. In admin settings, you have all of your user lists and their accessibilities. And then in learning resources, we have a curated list of all the resources users have available to them once they've started their subscription. Back in the projects panel, one other panel that shows up on the rightmost side is, of course, project details. So once you select one of the projects in your projects list, we open up a third panel, which is going to showcase information about that project. And in a moment, we're going to go through all of the different buttons and what we have available. Also new to the projects page, we have a difference between being able to create a new project, which is that new project button. You also have the ability to create new templates and the ability to organize your projects through new folders. So like always, new projects just automatically opens a new window. So you can go ahead and start creating a new project, uploading geometry, setting your inputs, and then generating results. A project isn't saved until you've uploaded geometry. So I'm going to go ahead, just go back into the projects page. The second button is to create new templates. So templates, if you haven't used them in your firm yet, it's a list of pre-created projects that anybody on your team can reference as they set up their own model. You can see some of the templates our team has created internally. And you'll also see some of these same templates in the help center of how to create a custom typology. If you know anything about setting up a project or the default templates that you see when we open up a Cove Tool project. So let me just open a model. There it goes. We have 8 default templates, and these are the typologies that best follow all the standards that are available in Cove Tool, and will help pre-populate all your information. But there's a lot of other typologies that you can also create within Cove Tool, and we've created those so that whenever somebody in our team needs to create a FedEx warehouse project, basketball arena, fire station, library, K through 12, whatever they're working on, they can go ahead and start with those and not worry about so much setup. So this new template button allows you to take any existing project and convert it to something that everybody else on your team will have access to create copies of, and also automatically lock the project so that only the original creator can edit the templates. So that's templates. The other new command is folders. So folders is one of the biggest features that folks have been asking for, and it's the ability to create groups of your projects. So one thing you have to do before you can create a folder is name the folder. So I'm just gonna type in new folder. I can select certain projects. I'm just gonna grab some test models. Grab here. You can see some of the projects I've selected. We can hover over the selects list. You can see the projects that we have. I can go ahead and remove some of those from my folder selection. And then if I'm happy, I can click save. And also one other functionality that we can make for your team is the ability to have business-wide folders. So if you want everybody on the team to have access to the projects in that folder, you can also make them readily available. But for now, I'll just cancel. Once you create a new folder, you'll automatically see those folder lists show up on the bottom left-hand corner. So you can see all of my personal folder lists. I've also created some folders for the entire team. So we have one for conference papers, massing studies, comparisons for HVACs. You'll also see I have a pinned project, and a pinned project is just one of my projects I want to be able to access at any point. And also some other non-essential projects like oh yeah, I've already been looking at it. My other kind of templates, like where there's a project in Midtown Atlanta that we're helping on, as well as facade studies, etc. So going back to all my projects. And then of course, if you ever need to edit any of those properties, just use that pencil icon to edit the folder. And you can also retroactively add a project to a folder. So if I select one of the projects in my projects list and we forgot to assign it to a folder, one of the properties at the bottom of general settings is to assign it to a folder. So you don't always have to get them all at the same time. So it's the components there. Next, of course, you have the new projects list. Previously, we had a very similar projects list where we showed panels with project images, name, people who contributed to them. One other addition we added was last edited, so you can organize your projects. You also have the ability to search for your projects. So some of the things you can use to search projects for are the original owner name, project name, and also we have a new functionality called tags. So tags are something that you can assign to unique projects, so you can automatically search for them. So I have a couple of projects that we're working on with lead. I've tagged them as lead projects. They don't necessarily have to exist in a unique lead folder. They have their own project folders they're assigned to. But if I ever need to pull up a project with a unique property, we can do so like that. So that you can also see the projects list in grid view or list view, depending on your preference. And then also we've added pagination so that you're only seeing the top 50 projects at a time. So I can hop between all of our other projects. And of course, the Tool team has a couple hundred projects at this point. Next thing I want to showcase is the projects details. So I'm just going to select a miscellaneous project. This is that details panel. There's a couple of properties that you can see. We can go ahead and open the project. So there's a couple of options for opening, editing a project. You have this button on the details page. You can also double click on the panel, or you can right click and open a new tab. So different ways to get there, just depending on your preference. The star icon is to set as favorite. So that's how you pin projects to the top of your projects list in case you're ever trying to find them. We can create copies of your projects. So if you are working iteratively through different designs, you can create a copy of your first model, make changes, do a comparison. That's an option. And comparison is also something we can do with GoTool. So I'm going to go hop into my massing studies. Comparison looks similar to how we used to have it, where you have these checkboxes on the top right-hand corner of your projects, and then this compare button. This is going to pull up that side-by-side report. So we can look at a couple of metrics, see how those models compare. And this is a project that I have in a masking folder, in a project folder. So let's keep looking at those details. And then the final icon is to create a report, which is going to package the results in that project into a PDF document. If you ever need to delete a project permanently, you can with that trash can icon. Now through the different pages within project details, you have general settings, which includes owner, location, creation dates, some of the info that might be useful if you're reporting to the DDX or if you're using Tool to create some of the metrics you need for comp check, res check. You have things like energy code, typology, floor area, window to wall ratio. Those can be helpful. And of course, you can go into the project and get more details that you'll be reporting with. You also have a timestamp if you reported to the DDX, location where you can retroactively add projects to folders. And also down here is where you can go ahead and add project tags. So yeah. Next page, you have all the metrics. So for any analysis that you've already ran through the project, we'll report them on the metrics tab. You'll have the performance log, all of the changes that have happened in that project recorded under metrics. We have your actual team. So these are all the folks involved in the project. You can invite people from the projects page, or you can go ahead and enter the project and play around with the collaboration features. But this is where you can invite other people in your team or collaborators outside of your account. And then we also include chats. So if you are chatting within the folks and you want to get notifications for them, you'll see all of those here. So that's about everything within the project dashboard. If you guys have any questions, definitely, again, make sure to drop any of those in the chat box and we'll address them at the end. The second page of the project dashboard is admin settings. The only people who are going to have access to this page are account administrators. So just make sure that you are either the owner of the account or the owner account has assigned you admin status, and that will give you the ability to first access all projects, and then second, control the licensing type of each user within your account. Note that Tool has a couple of different licensing structures. So depending on the number of seats you've purchased with your license and which product lines you have access to, that's going to determine how many licenses or what type of licenses you can assign, and then how many people you can have active at once. Here is all the folks within my firm. So this is the entire Tool team. You can see the folks that are admin. Pretty much we all need admin access, but in your team, it might just be the sustainability director, project admins, the BIM manager. License types right now, Tool has 2 product licenses. We have the analysis tool and load modeling tool. One issue we were previously having with the older dashboard is that if a firm had both license types, analysis tool and load modeling tool, there was an ability that a mechanical engineer could hop into the app, check out a license for both platforms, and then lock out an architect from being able to check out their analysis tool license. So now you can just specifically assign what tools people have access to or give them access to both. Another issue that a lot of people had were admins weren't sure who were checking out licenses and how long those licenses would be checked out for. So then this fourth column, active, showcases who has currently signed into Tool, when they last signed in. And then after a 24-hour period, these license checkouts will be cleared, and then another license will be free. So if your subscription structure has 4 or 5 seats for your account, then you'll see 4 people who are active, and if someone else is trying to log in, you'll have to wait to the next business day before they can. And then you'll also know who's the one who's currently logged into your account. If you ever have someone leave the firm or no longer needs access to Tool, you can also disable them. You're going to get a warning message to, or maybe that's in the collaborators. This will only disable their ability to log into Tool. It doesn't automatically delete projects. You'll have to reach out to the Tool support team if you want to permanently delete them from your account, and also if you want us to transfer their projects to somebody else on your team. So that's a little bit of how that works. If you need to invite new users, you can. You just use this top right-hand corner new user button. First name, last name, email address, and then temporary password, as well as the kind of license access you want to give them access to. If your team only has access or has only purchased the subscription for analysis tool, then you're only going to have the option for one type. Second, we have the collaborators tab. So as you are continuing to invite other folks outside of your team into your account, we're going to record what kind of access they have to the tool. So you'll see collaborators, emails, when they were logged in, and also a number of projects that they're invited to. Right now, a lot of the collaborators on the Cove Tool team are only involved in 1 or 2 projects. And then again, if you do want to permanently delete them, you can. You'll get this error message to make sure that that is what you want to do. And this will delete them from the access to account, but a collaborator can't initially create a project, so it doesn't delete any projects permanently. And to invite new collaborators, of course, you can use that new collaborator button. All we need is their email address, the project that you'd like to invite them to, and also the role that they're going to play in that project. And the role is going to help determine what kind of access they'll have to that project. So yeah, that's the admin settings tool. Next, the last page is the learning resources. So within learning resources, this is gathering a lot of the different resources that Cove Tool has on the website, within the app, within our help center, and other locations. And we've just centralized that in a way so people can access them whenever they want. First one is register for a webinar. So every Wednesday we have a general webinar. It is a continuing education credit, so you can sign up for that. This is incredibly useful if you have a new team member who's going to start using Cove Tool, but you don't have any training coming up. So you can just ask them to join the webinar, learn more about what we're trying to do. Second one is the App Store. So this is where we have all the information about our plugins, video tutorials, help articles, troubleshooting documents. Yeah. Next, the Help Center. That's our library of all the resources, articles that we've written. Almost any question you might have should be published in that article, or if you can't find an article with your answer, then of course you can always reach out to our support team through live chat. Training sessions is all of our unique webinars. So if you want to learn specifically about topics like how to use Cove Tool with healthcare, hospital projects, how are renovation projects done, how to collaborate with architect engineers. Those are all sessions you can check out within our training sessions page. Case studies are all the projects that have already used Cove Tool. We'd like to showcase as many success stories as possible so you can see what they did, how they changed their workflow, or if their workflow immediately fit into Cove Tool, and what they were able to accomplish. Lists of features, of course, are the capabilities that we currently have in the app. Cove Tool Academy, this is a newer platform that we have. So if you'd like to actually take a self-guided course, watch a couple of different videos, take quizzes, and then pass the final test to gain a certification, that's something that we now offer at Cove Tool. And depending on what platform you want to learn about, it can take just over an hour to go through the full session. We're going to constantly add new courses to it. So right now it's learning more about Cove Tool's simulations and product lines, but we'd like to expand elsewhere as well. And then finally, of course, all of the video tutorials, help articles, troubleshoot, or help resources. We're trying to combine more of those on our YouTube channel so you can see a lot of the things we're doing through YouTube. So those are learning resources. The last thing that you might have noticed on the navigation bar is statistics. So we have a couple of metrics that might be relevant to your firm. The first one is top user. So this is just a ranking of some of the top users in your firm. And right now we're using number of projects as the metric. We are thinking about, or we are developing another metrics tracking page so you can get more information about projects, about how your team is doing, and hopefully we can help more specifically define the metric that we define for top users. But right now it's just whoever has the most activity in Cove Tool is the top user in your account. Next, we have total number of projects, which is pretty straightforward. And then also, if you are participating in the 2030 challenge and using Cove tools to report to the DDX, the percentage of projects that have already been reported. Yeah. The last thing I'll mention, and if you guys, I see a couple of questions, so we'll answer those in a moment. The last thing that you can do on the dashboard is you can customize it with your company name and logo. So to find that, you'll need to be an account admin. You'll go to your business page, and under your business, you can go ahead and use the company name that you want to display for the entire team, and also the logo that you want to show up on the top right-hand corner. Once you have those information loaded, you'll see them displayed on your dashboard, and it's also in the header of the PDF report that we print from Cove Tool. So yeah, I think that's the last thing. So hopefully that was pretty helpful to understand this new feature. As we roll out other features, we definitely want to showcase or have more of these webinars to explain them for you, and we'll post the recording so you can rewatch it at any time, share it with anybody else at your team. And if you want to see some of the future tools that are coming out, you can also check them out in the live chat. You can see all conversations, and you can see some of our previous announcements about tools that are coming out, like we announced the dashboard a while ago. You can see updates that we have for baseline and other parts of the app. So check those out as well. Awesome. So I'll start answering some of the questions. So first question I see, can one export the users I see to, i.e. to see those who haven't been active? Also, how long ago does it show the active area? So for the second part of that question, active was something that was just introduced with the new interface dashboard, the new interface of the dashboard. So it's only something that we've been showing as of last Wednesday. It's something that we could have seen in the background, and whenever an admin came into live chat to ask about that, it was usually information that we could share, but now you have more control of that through the admin settings page. For seeing which users haven't been active, I think that's something that you can reach out to your customer success representative to get a report on. Right now, it's not information that we display in the dashboard. One of the other pages that we want to add is recording metrics and just showcasing activity. So we do have a plan to create a page for that, but right now, it's not information that you'll find in the dashboard. But I think your customer success representative or even your sales executive, they should be able to provide some of the information for that. Next question, how are the project tags used visible? So product tags, they're not necessarily visible on the projects page. You can see them if you click on any of the projects that you have assigned projects to. You'll see some of the pre-created tags listed on at the bottom of the general settings under the project details. I think Midtown Union. All right, those aren't my templates. Hold on, let me pull out one of the lead projects. Yeah, you can see any of the tags that you create will automatically be saved. I'm gonna go ahead and just like add another one, Emory. Create Emory, save, shows up here, and then if I'm trying to search for any projects with that tag, it will automatically pull them up. But right now, it's just another way to kind of filter projects and have them grouped beyond username, folder, and project name. So that's how we're using it. Also, a lot of these questions are also included in the help articles that we've written for the project dashboard. So if you go to help.covetool.com, top project dashboard, you'll see basically what we just walked through in a written form. You can also save any of these diagrams if you find them more helpful. Next question, if somebody checks out a license, can other people without an active license still access components of Cove Tool? Right now, if all of the licenses that you have for your subscription have been checked out, then a user won't be able to log into Covetal, so they won't get past the page where they have to enter in their username and password. They'll get an error message which says, reach out to your admin, your license has been maxed out. It's one of those messages. But right now, if everybody has checked out a license and they can't log in, they'll have to wait 24-hour periods from the first person who logged in to access the tool again. All of the resources like help.covetal.com and then the homepage, all of that is accessible, just not the actual app itself. And then last question, how do you permanently delete a member off projects? So you can first just disable access to any person on your account. This is going to prevent them from logging in again. And then if you want to delete a person permanently, you'll reach out to our support team and then also let us know what you want to do with their projects. Some firms prefer to transfer projects to a different team member entirely, or just depending on the project, provide them to different people. So that's the part that we don't yet have a functionality that admins can fully control, but if you let us know, it's something we can get done really quickly in 5 minutes. So just reach out to the support team if you want to permanently delete somebody, and then what to do with any of the projects they created. And if they are just invited to a project, for example, I'm just going to select a miscellaneous project. I can go to Teams. If they're currently invited to a project, you can also delete them from project access. So you don't have to permanently delete them from the entire account. So that's things you can do. Awesome. So those are all of the questions I see in the questions and answers Q&A. Are there any other comments, anything else you guys are looking for? If you have additional feedback about what else you'd like to see in the dashboard, feel free to let your sales executives know, your customer success agents. You can send us a message. We have a location where we collect all user feedback, and that helps us design new tools. But we're really excited about the current stage of the dashboard, something we've been looking forward to for a long time. Great. I don't see any other questions. So like I mentioned earlier, this recording will be posted under a training session, so you can rewatch at any time, share it with anybody else. And if you'd like to join any of the other presentations, definitely check those out and look out for any other updates in our newsletter. All right, I'll go ahead and call this session over. Thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your day. See you all next time.